Okay. Now, again, for us today, please. All right. Move this out of the way. Introducing graphing. All right. Using a table. Now, we don't really need our calculator at the moment, but I will show you the power of your calculator in a few minutes. All right. Now, again, it's very frustrating when you don't listen. All right. And then I'm going to get to number 5, and you're going to ask me a bunch of questions. I'm going to be frustrated because you don't listen. All right. Please. It's not difficult. This is super easy. It looks complicated, but it's super easy. All right. So please pay attention from this moment. No daydreaming allowed. All right. As soon as you get lost, you just raise your hand and say, help me, please. I'm lost. All right. But you shouldn't be lost. All right. So today I'm going to teach you how to graph a line using a table. All right. We're going to graph a line using a table. All right. So the first thing is, all right, you get to select points that we're going to plug in for X. All right. Then when you plug the numbers in, they will give you the Y value. All right. You have to select the points. All right. Now I will suggest to you what points I want you to choose. All right. I always want you to choose -1, 0, and 1. All right. You want to choose 3 points. Those are the 3 easiest points. Now, in a minute, I'll make some adjustments on that. All right. So now listen, now I need everybody's attention. If X equals -1, can someone please tell me what the Y value would be? What? What would the Y value be if X is -1? Exactly. How did you know that? Because look, I'm putting -1 in for X. So Y equals 2 times -1. What's 2 times -1? -2. So I'm throwing in a -2 right here. Now I'm going to replace X with what? 0. Y equals 2 times 0. What's 2 times 0? 0. Now replace X with what? 1. Y equals 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is? Now, all of you can just do the answer if you understand what I'm saying, right? Like everybody here knows, if I plug -1 in, 2 times -1, I just made a quick demonstration down here about how I got the Y values. I got the Y values by plugging in the X values. All right. The X values are called the independent. So I would like everybody to put that above X. X is called the independent. All right. Variable. And the Y is called the what? Dependent. All right. And Y depends on X. That's how I remembered it. Y depends on X. X is independent because you can pick whatever you want. Now I just choose the easiest ones. All right, now your job is just plot those points. So if I plot -1, -2, and then I plot 0, 0, and then I plot 1, 2. Does everybody agree? It forms a line. Those 3 dots form a line. And then I do what? I draw that line through those 3 points. All right. And there you have my line. And then you put arrows over here because it goes on. Please tell me, go.
How do you use -1?
I told you to. That's how you know. All right, but listen to me. If I would have chosen 2, please, you ask a good question. Let's say you wanted to choose 2. If I plug 2 in, I get 2 what? 4. Does everybody agree with that? 2 times 2 is 4. Leah, do you agree with that? Now look on my line. If I were to go 2 and go up 4, it's on the line also. So it doesn't matter what point you pick, you'll always create the same line. But because we want to make it quick and easy, the 3 easiest points to pick are -1, 0, and 1. All right. And I make you choose 3 points just because if you make a mistake, you can see your mistake if you plot 3 points, but you can't see your mistake if you plot 2. What?
So at the beginning where it says y equals 2x, is that where we multiply like 2 times -1?
Exactly. That's the equation. So you just graph, everybody put up here if you want, just so he's makes sense. Y equals 2x. That's the equation of that line. Y equals 2x. All right, now I'm going to do my best today, guys. And now I need your attention because this is where I start getting frustrated if you don't listen. I'm trying to show you the power of your calculator now. All right, so I'd like everybody to put their calculator in their hands. All right, turn it on. All right, now, the first thing I'd like everybody to do is I'd like everybody to hit the Y equals, which is the very top left button. Y equals. Now, everything in that screen should be blank. Should be, and if there's something in there because you've messed around, or if somebody from last year messed around, you have to clear them out. What? Ask me. What's the matter? Okay, please listen. I'm not trying to be fussy. If you don't know something, some of you don't talk and you're afraid to ask because I'm loud. All right, stop being that way. If you don't know something, speak up. This is you fighting for your grade. All right. I said Y equal, top left button. If you hit that button, it should come up Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, Y5. There's blue and red and all kinds of different colors. All right. Now under Y1, all right, I need everybody to hit the 2. And then you need to hit the X button. The X button is right next. Now, come on, some of you guys are trying to do things. I can tell, and you're messing up because you're not listening. So Y equals, you hit the 2. Now, the X button is the one button that has an X, a T, a theta, and an N, right? It's right next to the blue button, right next to the blue button. Does everybody see it? Hit that button and it should come up 2x. If it comes up theta or something different, you're in the wrong mode. I got to fix it. Is everybody on their screen now 2x? Does everybody have 2x? Everybody has 2x, right? All right. Now, just because I want to make sure your screen works, I need everybody to hit the zoom button. Zoom is in the middle top. Hit zoom. Now, standard is number 6, I believe. You want to hit zoom standard. Go down to number 6 and hit enter. And now the graph should appear. Does everybody see the graph now? Right? What? Well, I'll come around real quick. All right. Come on, everybody's got that on your calculator now. All right, here we go. Here we go. Hey, listen, guys, if you play with your calculator, all right, you might mess it up. All right, I don't want you hitting a bunch of buttons. All right, I don't want you looking for things. All right, because someone changed it and it's got a blue background. I'm not sure how to change that right now. All right, but we'll get to it. I'll figure it out. All right, now let's go on to the next one. All right, we're ready to go on to the next one. Now, if you want, you can hit the clear or you can hit the second and the quit button. The quit button's right next to the second button, and then it'll take you back to the home screen. All right, second. And then there's a quit button, or you can just hit clear a couple times and it'll clear you out. All right, but the quit button is usually the easiest. All right, now for number 3 now. We're going on to number 3, please. Now, notice I have a fraction here. Does everybody agree? If I plug in -1, do we agree I'm going to get a fraction? So can someone tell me, instead of plugging in -1, 0, and 1, what would be better numbers to plug in? Tell us. No, because -1/3 times 3, even though that's a good choice, good thought, they're not going to cancel. Palmer, what numbers am I going to plug in? What? No, not 3/4. Now watch me. -3, 0, and 3. Why am I going to choose 3? Because 3 divided by 3 is going to do what? Cancel out. So now if I plug in y equals 2/3 times -3, what do I get? 3 and 3 cancel. So it's going to be -2. If I plug in 0, I get what? 0. If I plug in 3, I get what? 2. Right? Now please plot those points. -3, -2, 0, 0, 3, 2. And now graph that line. And right above it, just for your own, I want you to write y equals 2/3 x. That's that equation. Can I pick different points besides -3, 0, and 3? Yes, you can pick whatever you want, but I'm trying to show you the most efficient way of doing that. All right, now what I'd like, I don't know what you're doing. I'd like everybody now to go to y equals. Practice typing in the fraction 2/3. If you don't know how to do it, it's alpha x. Clear the function out that you put in before, hit alpha x, and then 2/3 comes up. All right, type in 2/3. Then scroll over to the right one, and then hit X, and then graph, and look at the power of your calculator. You should make 100 on the next test. Why? Because you can check your work. All right, you can check your work. All right, what? I don't know what you're saying. Please speak to me. I forgot how to what? Y equals. You go to y equals. Top left, y equals. Then you type in 2/3 x. Then you hit graph. The graph is the top right. You with me? Did you get the graph on there? The reason why I'm making you look at the graph, because I'm trying to get you familiar with your calculator. The steps, very intuitive. All right, you good with that or not? Go. Because I don't want a fraction as my answer. I don't want a fraction as my answer. All right, here we go. What? No, 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 no. What? What is the problem? Please tell me. She doesn't have the answer. I have the answer. I am the answer. What? What do you need? All right, let's go. Come on. I'm on number 5 now. Here we go, guys. What numbers am I plugging in for x now? No. What else? Not negative. -3. What else? 0 and 3. -3, 0, and 3. So now we're going to go y equals 2/3 times -3 plus 1. All right. Now we're going to solve that. Y equals 2/3 times -3. Hopefully you see is -2. -2 plus 1 is what? -1. So that should be a -1. Palmer, I'm plugging numbers in, and you're on a calculator. Everybody good with -1? Now plug in 0. What's 2/3 times 0? Plus 1. 1. Very nice. Now plug in 3. What's 2/3 of 3? What's 2? And then 2 plus 1 is 3. Now plot the points. -1, 1. I'm sorry, -3, -1, 0, 1, 3, 3. And now draw the line. And then y equals 2/3 x plus 1. Put your arrows in. Now, please go again to your calculator. Y equals. Now, do you already have 2/3 in there? So you don't need to clear it. Just type in, go to the end and put plus 1 now. Go to y equals 2/3 x plus 1, and then graph it. All right, and it should be the right answer. All right. Now I'm on number 7. Here we go. Do I have a fraction in this one? No. So what numbers do you want me to pick? -1, 0, and 1. Thank you for listening. -1, 0, and 1. So now, come on, please, let's do the mental math together, guys. Eyes up, eyes up, eyes up. This is embarrassing. All right, if I plug -1 in for x, -1 is what? +1. 1 minus 5. Now, some of you are just sitting there not participating. I'm asking you to tell me what, if I plug -1 in, what it is, and I had about 4 people say 1. If you don't know it's 1, that's your problem, because you're not participating with me. All right, now I'm going to ask you to plug in 0. And if I ask you to plug in 0, you should plug in 0 and tell me what the answer is. Everyone, what is the answer? -5. That's the way we should be communicating. If you're sitting there going, man, how do you get -5? Then I show you. Plug 0 in for x, Palmer. What's -1 times 0? 0 minus 5. All right, now everyone plug in 1. Everybody's plugging in 1 in their head because it's not a difficult thing. And now you're going to tell me the answer is what? -6. That's not a difficult thing. Now plot those points. -1, -4, 0, -5, 1, -6. Draw a line. Put your arrows on it. And then y equals -x minus 5. Go back to your calculator. Now, some of you still don't know the negative sign is on the calculator. Clear out the function, hit clear, and then type in negative. Negative is right next to the decimal. -x minus 5. And then hit the graph button and go, wow, I'm pretty smart. Yes. All right, finally. All right, anybody have any questions with number 7? Anybody have any questions with number 7? Boys, anybody have any questions with 7? All right, let's knock out 9. Here we go. What numbers am I choosing for 9? All right, now if I plug in -1, let's do it together. If I plug in -1, 4 times -1 plus 5 is what? 1. Whoever said that. Everybody else is not writing 1 down. You're telling me that it's 1. All right, now I'm going to tell you if I plug in 0, what do I get? 5. Everybody should be saying 5. Now, when I plug in 1, I should get what? What? 9. Yeah, some of you don't know what 4 plus 5 is. That's okay. All right, that's quite okay. I know 4 times 1 is what? Okay, plot those points. -1, 1, 0, 5, 1, 9. Draw the line. And now what I need, kick in on your calculator. Go to y equals. Type it in for practice. You're learning how. The reason I'm making you type it in is because I want your fingers to know where to go when you're plugging this in. 4x plus 5. And then graph it. Colton, where's your calculator? Why don't you tell me? Come on up here and borrow one. All right, sitting there not participating because you don't have a calculator. Come on. It's annoying. All right, here we go. Number 11. Uh-oh, we have new directions. New directions. All right, so now we have to graph using the x and y intercept above x. The x-intercept just means where does the line cross the x-axis? The line crosses the x-axis when the y value is equal to 0. The x-intercept is where the line crosses the x-axis. It crosses the x-axis when the y equals 0. So if the x-intercept is when the y equals 0, the y-intercept is probably when what? When x equals 0. That is correct. So now I need to plug in 0 for y, and then I'm going to plug in 0 for x. Notice I'm not using this third one. I meant to cross that out on the next worksheet. I fixed that. All right. So this is how I want it. For each time, you're going to put 0 in for y and 0 in for x. That's always. Whenever I say find the x-intercept and the y-intercept, the y is always 0 for 1 and x is always 0 for 1. Now, because we are smart, stop daydreaming, if I let y equal 0, what is the x value? What is it? If I let y equal 0, some of you are having trouble with x plus 0 equals 4. What is the answer? 4, right? Now, if I let the x be 0 this time, it's going to be 0 plus y equals 4. So what does y equal? It's a coincidence that they're both the same. It's not always going to be the same. Now you go to your graph and you plot 4, 0, and then you plot 0, 4, and then you draw that line. And that is the equation of x plus y equals 4. X plus y equals 4. And we use that using the intercepts. All right, that's another technique of graphing. Graph using a table, graph using the intercepts. Now, you can't type this one in the calculator right now, all right, because I haven't shown you how to convert it into y equals mx plus b. All right, so don't worry about that one. Thank you for that. All right, so let's look at number 13. All right, I want a 0 for y and I want a 0 for x, and you can cross out this last box there so you don't get confused. All right, now we're practicing our mental math. If the y value is 0, what will that make x? 4. Who said that? Good job. The x will be 4. How do I know that? Because 3x minus 4 times 0 equals 12. What's 4 times 0? So 3x equals 12. Divide by 3, x equals what? 4. Now I'm going to plug 0 in for what? X. So 3 times 0 minus 4y equals 12. Negative 4y equals 12. So y equals what? Negative 3. So now I put negative 3. So now plot those points. 4, 0. Does everybody understand where that's called or why that's called the x-intercept, right? Because that's where it crosses the graph. Where's 0, negative 3? Right down here. Now we draw that line. All right, put arrows. All right, that's how simple it is. Graphing using intercepts. Graphing using intercepts. All right, I don't know why I jumped to 12 and 10, but that's okay. All right, let's go. Since I'm doing the evens now, let's go to 14. All right, now cross out the last box. All right, I'm going to pause the video for about 30 seconds so everybody should be able to do this on. Okay, so everybody was supposed to put a 0 here, and they were supposed to put a 0 here. Everybody, if you plug 0 in for y, you got x is what? 5. If I plug 0 in for x, I got negative 3. Now you're being smart. Now, if you're not sure about how I got 5, 0, and 0, negative 3, you can let me know. That means everyone in here now knows how to graph by using intercepts. Nobody has a question with that. Go. Confused is not helping me. But you got 5.
Yeah, why would it be negative?
Did you plug 0 in for x? So on your paper, you should have 3 times 0 minus 5y equals 15. Do you have that on your paper? What's 3 times 0? 0. Negative 5y equals 15. What does y equal? Negative 3. No excuses. Everybody can plug 0 in for y and 0 in for x. Anybody else now? Luke, did you raise your hand? That helped you? What about the 5? Did you get 5 now? All right. So what? Now we plot those points. 5, 0. 0, negative 3. Graph the line. No, that's a good observation, though. Yeah, it's going to be on the points are going to be on the X and Y axis. All right, here we go. Let's just knock out 16. Same process now. All right, I'm going to pause the video for one more 30 seconds. All right. All right, here we go. If the Y value is 0, X is what? Negative 8. Anybody having trouble with that? Luke? Good. Feels good. Now, if X is 0, Y is negative 1. All right, now you know if you understand or you don't. Now let's plot those points. Negative 8, 0. 0, negative 1. We draw the line. And there you have it. What? Plug 0 in for Y. What's 8 times 0? So, you got it now. X equals negative 8. Anybody have any questions with that? Anybody? All right. What time's the bell ring? All right, I'm good, man. I did great today. All right. You're welcome. So your job is to finish up all. Yeah, you disagree, Greep? You disagree with that? I am. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Greep is agreeing with that full-heartedly. He is doing another wonderful job. You're welcome. All right, now finish all 21. You're welcome with that. All 21.